Hi everybody, my name is Sam Pedro and welcome back to another video. I saw something super cool for book lovers this weekend and I want to share it with you. And so this weekend I went to New York City, for my first time ever going to New York. I live in the Phoenix area, so it's a pretty significant trip to go across the country, and just had a really great time in New York City. But there was one place in particular I went that I'm so glad I got to see, and that is the Morgan Museum and Library. And so I think as far as New York City museums and places to see, this isn't at the top of the list. It only gets a fraction of the visitors that something like the Met or the Guggenheim or the Natural History Museum gets. And so it's kind of a little bit out of the way, but I'm so glad I found out about it because I had never even heard of the Morgan Museum and Library. So I'm going to be sharing some pictures and videos as I'm talking just really quickly about this amazing place. And so the Morgan Museum and Library is in Manhattan. It's in Midtown, and it was created by J.P. Morgan back in like 1906. He created this great building to basically house all of his private book collection, so his own personal library. He was a very wealthy man, and so he had collected all these rare books, and he just had so many, and he wanted a place to house them. And he wanted to create the most perfect building that he could, so it's pretty ornate the way it's been built. And his personal study is also in the library, and it's just massive and magnificent. But the whole reason I wanted to go to the Morgan Museum and Library is because of one book in particular, and that is a Gutenberg Bible. This museum has 3 Gutenberg Bibles, which is just amazing because there are only, I think, 48 surviving Gutenberg Bibles, and the Morgan Museum has 3 of them, and one of them is always on display. And so I wanted to go, and so here is a Gutenberg Bible. It's amazing to think about what the Gutenberg Bible meant for the history of the world in terms of religion and the transfer of ideas and the beginning of books, and the explosion that happened because of this book. And so it was humbling to look at it. And I looked at it for a very long time. And so some other impressive things about the library itself is the number of books and the walnut paneled libraries. And so here's some video of kind of what the libraries looked like. And so this is the product of, top dollar towards a library and a collection. And so as I was touring the library, I tried to look at all the titles on the bookshelves. A lot of them were familiar to me, but quite a few of them were not. And when I'd go to Google these books, I couldn't find any information about them. So these are really rare books, kind of definitely out of public view. You can't really see them on the internet. So it's just amazing to think of what this collection means. Another highlight of the museum was the kind of the medieval era books. These, are handcrafted, hand-drawn, and they're amazing to see in person. These books before the Gutenberg press, the effort that went into making these books and the drawings, and they were a lot bigger than I expected. I mean, we kind of have our standard book size, but seeing them laid out, and they're huge, they're 3 feet by 3 feet or whatever they are, was really cool to look at. And so overall, I really enjoyed the Morgan Museum and Library. If you're a book lover, I think you have to go see it. You have to go see the Gutenberg Bible. You have to go see these magnificent libraries and just how many leather-bound titles they have that represent really the history of the world and the history of thinking and thought. I was inspired walking through that museum and just had an amazing time. So if you're ever in New York City, go check out the Morgan Museum and Library. But thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.